The federal courthouse in Manhattan had never seen anything like this. You could hear a pin drop as reporters, legal experts, and industry insiders held their breath. The room wasn't prepared for what they would witness next. Today would mark the moment when one of entertainment's most carefully guarded secrets would finally be exposed to the world. But nobody expected her to walk through those doors. The heavy mahogany doors creaked open at exactly 2:47 p.m., and gasps echoed through the packed chamber. Every eye focused on the figure emerging from the hallway. Rihanna Fenty, the billionaire mogul whose Fenty beauty empire had revolutionized industries worldwide. Her entrance was calculated, deliberate. The woman who had built a $1.4 billion fortune was about to shatter the very foundations of how business was conducted in the entertainment world. The pin-drop silence that followed was deafening. She walked with purpose, her Bottega Veneta heels clicking against the marble floor with military precision. The courtroom changed the moment she stepped forward. You could see it in their faces, the pale complexion of music executives, the trembling hands of luxury brand representatives, the nervous glances exchanged between attorneys who suddenly realized their clients' carefully constructed narratives were about to crumble. Rihanna wore a tailored black Saint Laurent suit, her hair pulled back in a sleek bun that spoke of business, not entertainment. This wasn't the pop star who had dominated charts for 2 decades. This was a CEO, an entrepreneur, a woman who had allegedly discovered something so explosive that it would redefine how the world understood success, influence, and power. "Your Honor," Rihanna began, her Barbadian accent cutting through the silence like a blade. "I'm here today because the truth has been buried long enough under layers of luxury partnerships, strategic alliances, and carefully orchestrated business relationships that the public has never fully understood. But this was only the beginning of revelations that would expose a network so intricate, so powerful, that it had allegedly controlled the very fabric of modern entertainment and luxury commerce for decades." The story began in 2005 when a 17-year-old girl from Barbados first encountered the glittering world of American entertainment. What the public saw was a meteoric rise to stardom, from Pon de Replay to becoming a global icon. What they didn't see, according to what would unfold in this courtroom, was the carefully constructed web of obligations, dependencies, and strategic alliances that would define not just her career, but the careers of countless other artists for the next 20 years. Sean Combs didn't just run Bad Boy Records, Rihanna testified, her words measured and deliberate. He allegedly orchestrated a system where young artists, particularly young women of color, became assets in a much larger business portfolio. "We weren't just musicians creating art. We were commodities in a network that reportedly included luxury conglomerates, international business figures, and tech moguls whose involvement went far beyond what anyone imagined." If you're finding this testimony as shocking as we are, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button, because what comes next will change everything you thought you knew about how success is really created in the entertainment industry. The revelation sent shockwaves through the chamber. Here was the woman who had seemingly escaped the traditional music industry trap, who had built her own billion-dollar empire spanning music, fashion, and beauty, revealing that her early career had allegedly been shaped by forces far more complex and interconnected than anyone had imagined. But what she revealed next would prove even more devastating. The yacht parties in Miami, the exclusive Hamptons gatherings, the business meetings disguised as social events, these weren't just networking opportunities, Rihanna continued, her voice unwavering. "According to my experience and documentation I've gathered, these were strategic summits where deals were allegedly made, where young artists' futures were decided, where powerful figures from luxury brands, tech companies, and international business would evaluate their next investments." She paused, letting the weight of her words settle over the room like a heavy blanket. Bernard Arnault from LVMH wasn't at these gatherings for the music. These were reportedly business summits where human potential and cultural influence were allegedly traded like stock options, where the next generation of brand ambassadors and business partners were identified and cultivated. The courtroom erupted in murmurs. The mention of Bernard Arnault, the chairman of LVMH and one of the world's wealthiest individuals, sent ripples of shock through the assembled crowd. This wasn't just about hip-hop anymore. This was allegedly about a systematic approach to controlling talent, influence, and cultural narrative on a global scale through luxury commerce. Then came the evidence that would change everything. Rihanna reached into her briefcase and withdrew a thick folder containing what appeared to be hundreds of documents. "I have documentation," she announced, her voice unwavering. "Contracts, email exchanges, and financial records that allegedly show how my early career decisions were influenced, guided, and in many cases, orchestrated by a consortium of powerful individuals who reportedly saw young talent as their primary commodity." According to her testimony, the documents detailed an alleged network that stretched from Sean Combs' entertainment empire to luxury conglomerates in Europe, from tech platforms to international fashion houses. The revelation painted a picture of an entertainment industry that wasn't driven by artistic merit alone, but allegedly by carefully orchestrated business strategies involving some of the world's most influential figures. "When I launched Fenty Beauty in 2017, Rihanna continued, many celebrated it as my independent venture, but according to what I discovered, the connections, the backing, the distribution networks, they were all allegedly facilitated through relationships that had been cultivated during those early years. Relationships that began when I was still a teenager. What happened next would prove to be the most shocking revelation of all. My partnership with LVMH wasn't a coincidence," she testified, looking directly at the gallery where several luxury industry representatives sat uncomfortably. "Bernard Arnault and I had reportedly been introduced years earlier through networks that included not just Sean Combs, but a web of interconnected business interests that spanned multiple industries and continents." She held up a photograph and placed it on the evidence table. "This image was allegedly taken at a private gathering in 2007. You can see myself at age 19, Sean Combs, and 3 other individuals whose companies would later become integral to my business empire, though I didn't understand the significance of these connections at the time." The photograph showed what appeared to be a casual gathering on a yacht, but Rihanna's testimony revealed it as something far more significant, allegedly a business meeting where her future partnerships were being discussed and planned by others, for others, while she believed she was simply attending a social event. "I didn't understand then that my presence at these gatherings allegedly wasn't about my talent or my potential as an artist alone," she continued. "According to what I've since learned, I was there because my demographic appeal, my cultural influence, and my potential market value had already been assessed and determined to be valuable to this network of international business interests." The courtroom was dead silent as the implications of her words settled over the assembled crowd. "The transition from music to business empire wasn't just my idea," she revealed. "It was allegedly a strategic evolution that had been planned years in advance by individuals who understood that cultural influence could be monetized in ways that went far beyond album sales and concert revenues, through luxury partnerships, beauty brands, and fashion ventures that would generate billions. Then came the moment that would define not just this testimony, but allegedly the future of how the entertainment and luxury industries operated." Rihanna turned to face the area where Sean Combs would have sat if he hadn't been detained. "Sean, you gave me opportunities, and for that, I acknowledge your role in my success. But according to my experience, you also allegedly created a system where young artists became unwitting participants in business strategies that served interests far beyond their own artistic development." Her voice grew stronger, more resolute. "The public has the right to know that when they support an artist, when they buy luxury products, when they engage with brands, they may be participating in business networks that allegedly extend far beyond what they imagine. The luxury brands, the tech platforms, the media coverage. According to what I've discovered, it's all connected in ways that would surprise even the most cynical observers." She paused, looking around the courtroom one final time. "I built my empire, yes, but according to my testimony today, I built it within a framework that was allegedly established long before I understood what that framework actually was, and that framework reportedly included some of the most powerful business figures in the world, all connected through networks that began in entertainment, but extended into every aspect of global luxury commerce. But the most explosive revelation was yet to come. The Fenty Beauty partnership with LVMH," she continued, her voice now carrying the weight of years of allegedly suppressed knowledge, "generated over 500 million euros in its first year. But what the public didn't know was that this success was allegedly built on relationships and distribution channels that had been established through networks I had been introduced to as a teenager. Networks that reportedly included not just music industry figures, but luxury brand executives, tech platform controllers, and international business interests. The silence that followed was profound. Representatives from luxury brands, tech companies, and international business interests shifted uncomfortably as they realized that their alleged involvement in this network had been exposed to public scrutiny for the first time. According to my experience, Rihanna continued, young artists were reportedly identified not just for their musical talent, but for their potential to become vehicles for luxury brand partnerships, business ventures, and cultural influence campaigns that would generate profits across multiple industries simultaneously. The implications were staggering. If what Rihanna described was accurate, then the entertainment industry wasn't just about entertainment. It was allegedly about creating cultural influence that could be leveraged across multiple industries, with artists serving as both the product and the vehicle for business interests that operated on a global scale. The ripple effects began immediately. Social media exploded with analysis and speculation. Business publications scrambled to verify the connections Rihanna had described. Legal experts debated the implications for contract law, artist representation, and luxury brand partnerships. But perhaps most significantly, other artists began to speak up. Within hours of Rihanna's testimony, social media was flooded with posts from musicians, actors, and creators who described similar experiences. Business meetings disguised as social events, partnerships that seemed too good to be true, and career opportunities that allegedly came with strings attached to powerful figures they had never expected to encounter. The entertainment and luxury industries, which had operated for decades on carefully maintained illusions of artistic independence and organic brand partnerships, suddenly found themselves under unprecedented scrutiny. The revelation that cultural influence was allegedly being systematically cultivated and monetized by networks of international business interests changed the entire conversation about how success was achieved and maintained in the modern era. As the session concluded, one thing became clear. This was allegedly not just the end of Sean Combs's carefully constructed empire. This was the beginning of a new era of transparency in industries that had reportedly operated in shadows for too long. The young woman from Barbados, who had once allegedly been an asset in someone else's business strategy, had become the catalyst for the most significant transformation in entertainment and luxury industry history. Rihanna's final words would be remembered for generations. Success in these industries allegedly isn't just about talent anymore. It's about understanding the networks that control opportunity, the luxury partnerships that drive profits, and the business interests that shape cultural narratives. Today, I'm making sure everyone understands that these networks allegedly exist, and they're more powerful and interconnected than anyone imagined. The room erupted as she gathered her materials and walked toward the exit with the same measured precision she had entered with. The pin-drop silence had been replaced by the sound of an empire allegedly crumbling, and a new era of transparency beginning. Her testimony had allegedly revealed a world where success was not just about artistic merit, but about being strategically positioned within networks of luxury brand partnerships, tech platform relationships, and international business interests that spanned continents and industries. As news of her testimony spread globally, luxury stocks fluctuated, entertainment contracts were reportedly being reviewed by legal teams, and young artists everywhere began questioning the true nature of the opportunities they had been offered. The entertainment world would never be the same. Make sure to subscribe for more investigations into the hidden networks that allegedly shape our culture. Hit that like button if this opened your eyes to the reality behind the entertainment and luxury industries, and let us know in the comments which revelation shocked you the most: the alleged involvement of luxury brand moguls, the systematic approach to cultivating cultural influence, or the interconnected nature of entertainment and luxury commerce.